Pablo Escobar would sack me on the spot. She's naughty. Right, kids, do not do this at home. That was a very scary moment there. Excuse the bubbling noise. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this one is all about batters. 3 different batters. Got the old Kenji Lopez book out. I had this idea about explaining batters and how they can be used in cooking. So I'm going to explain to you in the different places you can use them, what they do, how they can function, therefore you can divulge in other places and do them in different ways, if that makes sense. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me out because we are growing the channel. So be part of it. Be part of the journey, motherfucker. Batters. Now, there are so many variations, but looking through this, I'm going to give you 3 which I think are going to be the most useful, the most versatile. We're going to do a beer batter, then we're going to do like a dry dredge, something that you'd get from like Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then we're going to do tempura. So we'll talk about it in more detail as we go on, but for example, the beer batter of the fish. Now, fish is a delicate, wonderful thing, and everyone thinks, oh, fish and chips, oh, it's really bad for you, it's unhealthy. Well, yeah, it probably is a little bit. But what the batter is doing is protecting the delicate fish, protecting batter. And then in here, as it cooks, as it gets hot, steam is cooking this. So in theory, if you cook this, peel back the batter, didn't eat the batter, ate the fish, you'll have a wonderful bit of steamed fish because no oil hits the internal bit of fish. But you didn't know that. I went to a fish and chip shop and asked them. The dry dredge. So the dry dredge is like your classic Kentucky Fried Chicken, crispy style. So the dry flour, what it does is obviously sticks to it, creates a nice crunchy coating, texture, yummy texture and flavour. This has no real flavour in it in terms of like it has the beer, but it doesn't have any spices. This you can put your secret herbs and spices. You can do 13 spices if you want, if you can figure out how many to go in there, and you're done. Wonderful. Tempura is something like you got an ingredient. Oh. Something flew into my eye. You've got a light ingredient, you've got something that's very delicate, and you need a light batter. Now, in here, so high starch, low protein. So this has got a low protein in the flour, and that means fuck all to me. But basically, this is to do with colour. Very light batter, light, crispy. And then the beer batter is a bit more darker because it's got more through it, apparently. Or the beer. Fuck off. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, let's do a beer batter first. Beer batter, very simple. What I end up doing is looking at ratios. So I do a 70-30 split. 70 grams or 70% of a said flour. So this is like an all-purpose, this is like a pizza flour. So I'm just gonna go 70 because I've only got one thing in there. Fantastic, 85. And then I'm gonna go corn flour, which is the 30%, so 30 grams, 30%. Oof. Pablo Escobar would sack me on the spot. Baking powder, bicarb, just a little sprinkle madinkle, bit of salt, always, you need to season. And then he's put a little bit of smoked paprika in there because I absolutely love smoked paprika. If there was a spice that I could go to hell with, they always ask that, don't they? Oh, you died and went to heaven. What if you wanted to go to hell? Be nice and warm down there. Don't know why I'm using this. It's useless utensil. Oh, the fucking whisk. I still haven't bought a whisk for here. Right, then you need a beer batter. Here we go. Seasoned flour is mixed with beer to create a thick pancake-like batter. The beer promotes browning while its bubbles help keep the batter light. So the bubbles, when you think of tempura, you put sparkling water through it. This is the same drill. I think you're meant to actually make like a dry dredge as well, so we'll do that. I don't know how much we're going to put in. This is a delicious thing called by Toast Brewing. They make beer or IPAs, lagers, whatever, out of wasted bread. I can have that one for free. I've made that too thin. Don't panic, everyone. Just chuck a bit more in. Okay, that's good. A few little lumps are all right in your batter. It doesn't have to be perfectly thin. That's too thick. There we go, perfect. Lovely. Next step, let's make a little dry one. Gonna put a little bit of flour. I've got a lovely bit of cod here. I should bring the deep fat flour over here, don't know, but that's very dangerous. Let's do it, fuck it. That was a very scary moment there. Good, well done everyone. Right, so this is gonna do 170. So you don't want too much batter. If you have too much batter, then you're just gonna have this like real blobby mess. Oh. Absolutely got stuck to the bottom. Okay, we're gonna have to do a double dunk. Oh no. Right, don't panic everyone. Perfect, double battered fish. 1, 2, 3. Right, I'm just gonna hold it off the bottom. Create a seal. Aha! We're good, we're good. There we go, floating away. We're looking good. Right, I'll be back in a bit. Oh, this fish is looking wonderful. Oh yeah. Right, the oil is so high that it won't even sit out. So we're gonna do another bit of dangerous. Remember kids, don't do this at home. So while that is doing that, what we're gonna do is I've got some chicken wings here. I'm not even gonna choppy. I've got some of this. This is from my friend Daryl. He's got a company called ADH Delicious. All I'm gonna do is just give it a healthy dosing of this. It's gonna give it a little slap of lube. If you think of like a breadcrumb, like a pane station, you have a dry and then you have a wet and then you have a dry. So this, in theory, should be the wet because you want something to stick to the flour. So that's why you do the buttermilk. Obviously it tenderizes, it adds flavor, all that kind of jazz, but fuck me, I haven't done it because I'm very underprepared. I'm just gonna give those a little mixy moo like that, leave them to one side, get them back for a bit, probably 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll do the same with those in a bit. But I just wanted to show you just in case you get, oh, what happened to those? Okay, this fish, camera 12, Greg, can you pick that up? Look at him, whoa! That is one fucking brilliantly piece of cooked into one brilliantly bit of fish. Oh, look at me. It's got a wire rack. So obviously if you put something down, say you've cooked this, trying to think of another example for absolutely no reason, and you put it on a flat surface, the oil is gonna collect and then it's gonna get soggy and it's gonna steam. Where if you leave it like this, it can just hang out. So we leave that there for a bit. We're gonna go straight onto the tempura. So I'm actually just gonna do courgette just for argument's sake. So remember what I said about tempura, it's all about light batters, delicate flavors, things that you want the flavor to kind of sing through. You don't want to have like a beer batter that's going to attack that and make it taste of beer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of this honest umami because this stuff is great, right? Salt, sugar, MSG, pepper. Just going to put that on the vegetables. So you've got like a little coating. It's not going to destroy the flavour of the courgette. It's just going to give you that certain je ne sais quoi. You're like, oh, it's actually done something to it. Well done. Tempura batter. Just remember 70-30. So I'm going to do 70 grams of this, and then corn flour. I'm going to do the 30. 70-30. A little bit of this in there. This is the old MSG. There we go, lovely jubbly. Tiny bit of bicarb. Bicarb just gives it that fizz, that. And now this is the one where you want everything to be cold. If you can do this with like ice cold water, say you've got like a jug of cold water and it's freezing cold, absolutely spot on. Top tip with this is do not over mix the batter. Don't mix it and mix it and mix it until you've got this beautiful smooth thing. Watch this, right? Mixy mix. And you want it to be a bit like, I always say a bit like baby sick. If you've ever had a baby and they've had a bit of formula or a bit of titty milk, then all of a sudden, that is what you want, right? Done. It'll look like it's too thin. You'll be like, oh, nothing's gonna stick. If you stick your hand in there, look at this. Right? It looks bad, but that is absolutely perfect. I just stick another little bit of corn flour just onto these, just to sort of help that batter stick. And then, look how it doesn't stick, right? You'll be like, oh, there's not enough batter on there, look. Trust me, thin coating works perfectly well. 170, in you go. Just get all these in. So if you're doing a big batch, just sort of pick them up, quickly go in, bop, quickly go in, bop, quickly go in, bop, quickly, bop, bop, bop. Fast fry, nice and light, they'll stay crispy. Ooh. See, don't overload, otherwise these bits don't go in. Then if you're ever doing, oh, mate, I've made a mess. If you're ever doing any kind of frying, get yourself a nice bit of kitchen roll, or like I said, like a little grated thing, just so that things can drain. Tempura, not very much colour. And to do this, you want a nice clean oil. If you don't have a clean oil, just think, that fish, it got coated in the batter and it got protected, so the fish inside has not been touched by much oil. This, the veggies have been touched by quite a bit of oil because the batter is so thin, and you want to be able to taste it. So here's your little tempura. Look at these, look. Super simple, that's going to be roasting. Oh man, fuck me, that MSG is so good. Right, let's put these to one side. So there's two. Different process, same ratio, different result. Next up, same ratios, 70 flour. And you can play around with these ratios. You know, some of them do it a little bit crispy. So look, here is your dry dredge. Is this gonna work? I haven't really got a wet dredge. Wet. I wonder if it'll work. Let's try one, see if it works. I feel like they're gonna need a bit more of like wetness for it to all compact, but with this one, it's a messy one. You can't be too clean with it. You're just basically gonna have to put it on, squidge it in. I reckon it'll be all right. Right, in you go. It's definitely made the fryer all go very murky colour. Okay, I absolutely failed. I'm just gonna let that one cook. But what I'm gonna do, This is the thing with me, is I try and skip steps when there is absolutely no reason why you should skip steps. But what I'm going to do, because I haven't got the wet dredge, or I haven't marinated it, I'm just going to use the leftover of the tempura to see if it would be my binding agent. This is experimentation. So we all know how to do this anyway, probably, like the real way. Wet, dry. Oh, that's better. That's going to work better, isn't it? Because the last one, as soon as I put it in there, it just fell off. Right, in you go, mate. See if you work. That's better. So yeah, don't skip the old wet dredge bit, obviously. I'm gonna do a double dredge on one of them, see what happens. When you press it in, that means that you really coat it back in. Double dredge. Yeah, look at that one. That's definitely gonna stick. Look at that. Oh, she's naughty. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook these at 170 for about 4 to 5 minutes, just so they start to cook. And then I'm gonna let them chill for a bit, just sort of like take them out, let them rest for a bit. And then I'm gonna crank the oil 190, plunge them 3-4 minutes, and then they should be nice and crispy. Right, here we go, here's the chicken. As you can tell, I've done an absolute shitty job of this chicken. These ones, well done, Mark, you did a good job. That's because it had a dredge. This one, I'm just gonna plop back in because I'm gonna eat this one. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute catastrophe. If we're gonna be talking about flavours with this, right, you wanna look at the 3 different processes that we've gone through. So, rule number 1, ensure you have a wet dredge or a brine for something to stick to. This had nothing to stick to, therefore it just fell off the first one. But then if you had a bit of dredge or a bit of batter, you can make, you know, like a simple tempura batter or just corn flour and water or something for it to bind. So this is going to be a very like punchy flavour. I don't think you're going to taste much of the chicken, if you know what I mean. You're going to taste more of like the crunchy, gnarly bits of the batter. These are little delicate numbers. It's a little bit crispy oven. So the fish, like I said, what it's going to be doing is steaming inside. Let's try and cut it in the middle. Oh, it's like shards. Right, look at that. Absolutely roasting to hold. But that fish in the middle, has just started to cook and has been steamed perfectly. I'm just gonna pick a bit of the fish out the middle. Because look at that, steaming, wonderful freshness. Oh, honestly, beer batter, you get that real deep, obviously beeriness, but you get that nice fluffy middle. There you go. 3 different batters, 3 different uses. Absolutely wonderful. Once again, thank you for your love. I shall see you all very, very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out, helps you out. You see more of me, less of other people. That's what we want. Right, bye, love you.